This is Pete Moore, Halo Talks NYC on location, Daxco booth 831 with my man, Eric Casaburi, current resident of the state of Florida. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, Pete, thanks for having me back, brother.
Now, it's somewhat intimidating, but a pleasure to have another podcaster on and somebody with your kind of PR background and degree, undercover boss. I think you did something back in Marlboro. Maybe you were like the athlete of the year back in the day. I can't verify that. Probably most popular, most likely to be a politician, and also run the health club industry, which is now the Halo sector. So, Eric, welcome to the show. Tell us what you're doing now.
Thanks for having me back, Pete. It's great to be. I don't know. Am I the first of the second podcasters?
You're the second podcaster, but don't worry about that. It's
you know what they say about coming in second, right, Pete?
What's that?
You're the first loser.
Interesting.
You know that one, right?
Yeah, but that show put Planet Fitness on the map. So I'd say,
true.
like, if you want to be the biggest loser, could do something for you. A little
All right,
brand equity
we
action.
digress. We digress.
We haven't even started yet. It's like the first period.
We got to stay focused here, Pete.
All right, give it to us.
So, no, again, thank you for having me on the podcast, Pete. I really appreciate being back. And I will tell you that a lot has changed since the last time we spoke.
Quite.
I followed a dream of an endeavor that I really wanted to be impactful in. As you know, I'm a health and fitness crusader, always have been. My whole career spent it in this industry here in health and wellness. But I felt that there was a need and a niche for the next step and the next level. And I found it through just challenges, right? Where do we find all our solutions? Through problems, right?
I mean, every business is really just a way to get a group of people together to solve a frustration profitably, and then it's a real business, right?
There you go. And one of the challenges the industry was having in fitness was retention, right? Everyone's been talking about retention and attrition and forever, and everyone's looking at the treadmills, the flooring, the locker room, the how do you say hello, answer the phone. Really what was happening is we were at a nuclear fight with a rock in our hand. Because what was happening is our members are aging, bro. I mean, people aren't realizing the population that I was attracting 20 years ago when I opened my first gym. Well, actually, it's more than 20 years ago. I don't want to date myself too much here on the podcast, Pete.
Yeah, your hair looks great.
I am in the anti-aging space now, remember. So that clientele has evolved, right? They've aged. And what's happening is they come to the gym, they were dedicated, had the money, could afford to come. And what's doing? They're leaving the gyms. Why were they leaving the gyms? Why would they stop? Well, they're not getting results. They're spending an hour a day, 3-4 times a week. They're doing the programs, and they're not getting the results anymore. And it's not because the gym did anything wrong. The gyms are still fantastic. They're better than they've ever been. The equipment's incredible nowadays. It's their hormones. It's their body. It's the metabolic syndrome that's being caused. All of these issues that we aren't looking at because we're not capable and qualified to look at them as fitness practitioners, right? We're not medical personnel. So I spent a lot of time looking at that. In fact, I spent the better part of 2019 and 2020 at all of the anti-aging conferences with a lot of really brilliant, who are now people that are consultants to me and advisors to me, discovering how we could fix this challenge in a realistic and attainable way. And that's what birthed Serotonin. Serotonin centers anti-aging.
Now, serotonin, as I understand it, is it's a monoamino nuclear transmitter, and it's found in pretty much all bilateral animals, including worms and insects. And it's produced in the intestinal tract. Is that correct?
You've done your scientific homework. I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you. Do you own a copy of the New England Journal of Sports Medicine?
No, but I do have a free subscription to Wikipedia.
Okay.
And I got a senior associate who knows to find a printer at a trade show.
You and the guy from the United States Trademark Association did that same homework, apparently, because he gave me a year's worth of headache and a $480,000 bill with my attorneys to get my trademark.
But on a serious note, let's talk about serotonin, what it does to the body, and why you picked that as a name to launch his anti-aging, platform.
It really, like most of my brands come to me, Pete, they come to me quickly, but when they come, it's like a wave. And I felt when I was looking at this, what is serotonin? It's your happy hormone. That's kind of what it's nicknamed, right? The happy hormone. And that's what we do. We give happiness back to people. And we do that in so many ways, because what's happening is when people come to us, and we found this in our store here in Florida, in Windermere, they when they're hormone deficient or they're having metabolic syndrome or all kinds of issues that are by the way, are fixable, they come to us very unhappy. They come to us depressed or anxious, a lot of anxiety there, and they don't understand why. And when we start fixing and monitoring, and well, it all starts with the blood work, right? We do a whole blood panel, and we figure it out for them, and we give them the map, and then we give them the tools to use while they're on the journey on the map. We find that they get happiness again, and that's one thing. It's one of the tertiary benefits to all of these great things that start happening when we fix people's lives, like we do in the health and fitness business.
Right. Let me ask you this question. So obviously, you started with retro. You and I have tinkered with, either personally or putting some like workout recovery equipment inside, whether it's a Therabody, Hyperice, infrared sauna, higher dose, what have you. when do the health club operators, who a lot of them might be listening to the show, instead of letting Serotonin and Restore and some of these other groups kind of, potentially like take their members and then give them back to us, when do they become franchisees on a multi-unit platform and say, hey, I'm not only going to own your health and fitness location and be the authority, but I'm actually going to also own the whole journey, and I'm going to do it through somebody that's researched it so I don't get in trouble?
So, Pete, that's exactly one of the arms of Serotonin Enterprises, our corporation. So what we do is we actually cater to that, because we know there's people from the health and wellness space, the nutrition space,
Halo?
The Halo sector,
sweet.
that are qualified and wanting candidates and interested in our services as franchisor to scale that. Because let me tell you, I know what I'm doing, Pete. I've scaled businesses and I've built other franchises, as you know. It took me 2 years to really figure it out. And I mean, and a lot of money, but with 2 years, right? I mean, I was working night and day and night, just the software, just the HIPAA compliance, things they're just not thinking about. Right. How you can communicate and what you can say in a text message or a phone call. There's some stuff that rules we're not used to from the industry we are from, that had to be learned and curtailed into an operations manual.
When you kind of take a look at introducing people to this business, you sticking needles in them, you're talking NAD shots, you're talking about hormone replacement therapy. How much of that is kind of in 5 years from now, everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course I do that. But right now people are like, bro, you do NAD?
It's happening right now, Pete. I'm telling you, the acceptance level.
Is it like an undercurrent, or is it kind of like finally tipped?
I think it's tipped, and it's getting more and more popular. And I'll tell you why. Things like your podcast right now. So podcasts, you've got some incredible educators out there in our space of health and wellness, but especially in the anti-aging space, and the biohackers, that they used to call them biohackers. I mean, I think they've gotten a different lingo now. I will tell you that, Dr. Peter Attia, Dr. David St. Clair, of course, David Asprey, who's the original king of biohacking, right. They're really popularized. Dr. Rhonda Patrick, another one, Found My Fitness. These are all friends of mine, by the way, and they're incredible. And some of them are consultants to me as well, just through the knowledge base that I garner. I will tell you that they are helping make this less, oh my gosh, it used to be like, I don't want to talk about Botox, or I don't want to talk about that I'm on hormone. Right. Now it's like I'll tell you, my wife, she's been on hormone replacement for 6 years. You got to see Kim. I mean, I don't know, she's not here, but she's 2 pounds lighter than the day we got married. She looks incredible, skin, hair. She's gorgeous. Right. But we had a problem, and there was a way to solve it. Why would you not? Right. Why would we not? It's like if someone told you, Pete, you got type 2 diabetes, you're cranking a 6.8 on an A1C test. You got to get the help you need, bro.
Of course. So when you take a look at this, though, people are coming in and, they're obviously on a monthly recurring revenue, because once you get on, a hormone replacement, or once you get on something that is on this longevity play, they're going in. How, given that you're coming from the health club industry, you're talking about get physical results and actually work for it, this pill or this shot is not a replacement for your exercise. It's an augmentation of it. Mm-hmm. So how do you think about that? When you say, okay, here's your journey as a member of Serotonin, but it's not a replacement for you to go sit on your ass. It's actually correct. Like a trampoline.
So what's unique into us at Serotonin, what we have done is exactly what you just said is kind of a 30,000-foot look of what we do. So because I'm obviously a crusader from the fitness industry, we send more people back to the gyms and back to the health clubs than probably any place in the universe, any doctor's office, that's for sure, right? Because what we're doing is we're saying, okay, Pete, here's a study, and we'll show them a study that they did on semaglutide or Ozempic, which is an amazing for weight loss. Obviously it's a prescription. We put a lot of our clients on it, but the study shows that there was 3 groups, right? They had a control group, they had the semaglutide group, and then they had the group that did exercise and nutrition plus semaglutide. Well, that third group I just mentioned, got a 30+% improvement of the results in the same span of time. So of course, go back and do the work as well. Because Pete, we can optimize your health and fitness. You're going to improve your results. We're going to get you an exponential times result. So so what we're doing is we're making it part of our package. So what we do is not just treat you with the medical part. We're also giving you the nutritional coaching, doing your macros, doing nutrition, assisting you in getting back on the fitness track, sending you back to a place, recommending going back to a health club, or getting on whether it's a Peloton, a Mirror, or at home, or we don't care where we want you working out. Of course, right. I would always prefer one of our gyms, but we want you back in exercise and activity.
So you're a franchise guy. You always have been. You've always looked at the unit economics and understand kind of, how the business works. I remember there were certain KPIs that you had back in Retro that were, X pennies of ancillary revenue per door swing. And, you had your own kind of special sauce in that. How do you look at franchisees as potential operators and potentially going like a multi-unit operator or an area developer and have them get comfortable with, hey, look, this isn't hiring a general manager and a personal trainer. You got to hire like we're kind of bringing like professionals in here now. Like this isn't like a minimum wage plus $3 type of job, but you're going to get the results at the end because there's a high revenue and high margin business. So what type of staff do you need and what type of lens do you have to have as a franchisee to say like, hey, I'm building like a real operation here. This isn't like lowest cost wins.
That's part of one of the benefits of why anyone goes to the franchisor is for that type of support. So there's one of the things we do is we do help source the medical directors and the nurse. We don't do it for them. We'll teach them how to do it. We'll give them all the platforms to do it. We show them where to do it, how to do it, explain to them why to do it. But you're right. You are building a scale team that has some medical professionals in there. And that's something to be scared of because it is similar to hiring any other high-level professional. Listen, when you have a gym manager, the person better be a high-level executive in your mind. Like they better be able to sell, they better be able to do P&Ls, understand the price. Like there's so much they need to do. So it's not much difference in the severity of how serious it is to hire these key people, but they're just qualified with different credentials.
Right. So what kind of member base can you have and what's the size location?
So our size location is between 2,500 and 3,000 square feet. That's like our sweet spot. Now, we will probably be doing some alliance type things where we go into these sub-markets like these, bigger health club type environments where we may take some space as a tenant in there or a franchisee of themselves within these spaces. And in there, it might be a little bit smaller footprint because you have all these other ancillary rooms that these people can use. So for us, we like to get all of our services including, because we have 4 buckets, right? We've got the immunity services, which is your IV therapy, all of your shots that you talked about, the intramuscular shots that we give you. It's also your hormone replacement therapy. We've got your body contouring, which is your aesthetics. We also do Botox and fillers, all those things to make your face beautiful, skin pen, microneedling. And then we're, of course, also doing weight loss. We're doing medical weight loss in there. So each of these areas needs its own type of environment. But we make it work in a beautiful setting at Serotonin.
Now, some of the modalities or services that you can provide, from what I understand, is that could be sent drop shipped to somebody's house. Is there any ingestibles? That's question 1. 2, does this at some point turn into like a mobile unit, almost like the Serotonin ice cream truck, where like instead of you coming to me, I'm just gonna come down and just wait outside your 55 and over, and we're gonna be doing shots like Slurpee machines.
So it's all within the state laws and requirements. Whatever we're allowed to do, we'll do it. So we are very.
I love the bookmobile back in the day, though.
You remember the bookmobile?
Yeah, I cursed at my mother once for that. I got my mouth washed out, but that has nothing to do with serotonin.
We'll do another podcast on that. So we do have a plan for a high-level concierge already in place. Right now, we like the frequency of the foot traffic visit to us, and there's a reason why. But to answer your initial question, yeah, there are certain things that do get delivered straight to your doorstep because you might be taking, maybe it's a peptide injection, you're taking it nightly, and that goes to your home. And we teach you how to inject it in the store. We bring you in. We have a nurse practitioner and a medical assistant show you how to do those injections if you're doing an injection. But then there's also things, there's different type of therapy. Most people that we do on pellet therapy, so they come to us to get the pellets inserted every 3 months. So it is convenient, but it's really, really the best bioidentical replacement right now to date. But if you're on injectables, sometimes it's going to land at your doorstep, and that's really convenient for you. But we have people that say, no, we want you to do that stuff. We're going to come to you to get that done. And we're happy to do it.
And what kind of cycle time is it if I'm coming in and getting an NAD shot or hormone replacement? Is that somewhere I'm in and out? Like there's not really like a spa experience.
So everything for us is an experience. So when you're in there for any type of treatment, whether you're getting a facial done or you're getting an IV drip like an NAD. NAD is a longer drip, by the way. Just a 500 mg drip of that is almost 2 hours. It's got to drip slow because it'll bother you a little bit if you don't. But we have, Netflix, Apple TV, Hulu, streaming live, all prepaid. So people come in and they stream the hyperbaric chamber, same thing. We stream whatever they want to watch, put a book on for them, whatever they want. We really make it. When you're there for a couple hours, and some people are, if they're getting cool sculpted, we're literally bringing them lunch on a beautiful white and gold tray. We do it right in our centers because people are paying a premium to get these treatments with us, and we want them to feel right, and as they should. But it's a point right now where There are some things that are very quick. You come in just for what we call a skinny shot. It's a special cocktail of an intramuscular shot that we give to our clients that are in our weight management program. You're in and out in 3 minutes. You come in, we book your appointment. That's a nice thing about concierge with us. Even blood work, Pete. Like you go to LabCorp, Quest, you spend half the time sitting and waiting, right? No, with us, like your appointment's at 9:01, you're in. Like that's how we roll.
Yeah.
And that's just because we staff it the right way, and it moves. It's a very efficient process for us.
So if people are looking at a number of these, anti-aging franchisors to partner with, what would you say are kind of the top 3 reasons to go with Serotonin?
Well, you use the plurals ors. There's only really one right now, and it's us. There really isn't anyone's doing what we are doing, how we're doing. Now, there's recovery franchise out there, and God bless them, it's a cool thing. We just kind of have all that under one roof. So we do recovery, anti-aging, inflammation. We have red light therapy beds. We have hyperbaric chambers. We have a tremendous protocol for reducing cortisol levels that creates inflammation. So we do all that under one roof. I would say that the reason that people would choose us, A, is our experience in the health and fitness space. I've got a tremendous background on building our income streams from, as you said before, and you mentioned it briefly and you touched on it, but I want to dive in a little bit further, on recurring revenue model. A lot of people in this business that are medical practitioners, they don't do it that way. They're transactional. I'm not a transactional person. I'm a relationship person in business. I believe you are. I am.
I view myself as having a relationship with you, not having a transaction.
And I hope you do, because I feel the same way about you, my friend.
It's out here on the air right now. Eric Casaburi is one of my best friends in the Halo sector. I said it. I said it.
I love it. I can't wait to go to another Eagles game with you. All right. So that being said, though, it is important for people to understand that it's who you do business with is really important, not just what your business is. So that to me, I learned over the years in my last business.
I think just one thing to hone in on. Well, I'd say 2 important things to hone in on to our audience. One is when you're getting involved in a franchisor, know who's running that franchisor and how they're kind of wearing that brand on their sleeve and actually going out and promoting it in every omni-channel and every discussion and every, coffee shop and wearing the shirt out and, really like living the brand and being like the ambassador. So I think that's one thing about you where you become a franchisee of Serotonin. Like you basically have Casaburi as like your hype guy and the head of PR, like basically as part of your royalty without additional fees, right? That's amazing. 2, I think from a attention to detail and understanding like the granular parts of each one of the components of the business, you got to have somebody like tear it apart first and do it themselves and say, look, this is the prototype and I actually built it. You don't have to, you're not a test. I did the test already and I'm giving you a replicatable model. So I think those are 2 important things.
And I think that builds respect, Pete, from the people you're sitting across the table from. I had a gentleman in yesterday from the Northeast, the area that you and I are from, and he came in for a multi-unit development pack, a big one, and we're excited about it. And he sent me a beautiful email last night, almost to the effect of what you just said. He goes, I was really excited about Serotonin before I got there. He's like, but after I met you and I saw that you are the product with the company and you live it and you swear and you spent your own money building yours with cash, like, and I did. I'm like, listen, I went in both feet first. I believed in it and I spent 2 years developing and tinkering and figuring and working it. And part of the beauty of this whole thing is I love it. I don't even care. Like my wife looked at me. She goes, "We're really going to do this again?" Like Kim said that to me in bed. She's like, "Are we really?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to do it." She was excited. She's like, "This is great," because I get so passionate. It's the awakening inside. You got to have that desire.
Yeah. So just a funny quick story here, but like 10 years ago, a guy came to me and he's like, wanted to build this like natural, kind of like a Whole Foods, but in like inner city in Detroit, and he's pitching me on, and then halfway through it, I'm like, so where do you live in Detroit? He's like, I don't live in Detroit. I'm just like, bro, you have to live in the location. Like, if you're going to create the prototype, you have to be the prototype. Like, don't forget about that. So when you think about, the growth of this business, you got a couple of different models out there. You say, hey, look, anybody comes in that's qualified that sends you an email like that, has the kind of background and pedigree and professionalism, okay, they can be a franchisee. However, you've seen Orange Theory, you've seen Planet Fitness, you've seen Massage Envy, where you're selling territories. And a lot of doing that as a franchisor is you got to say no to people. And you got to say, look, I'm giving you the state of Arizona. I'm not giving you like one location in Tucson because I know what happens down the road. So how do you think about that?
So again, having experience, knowledge based on experience, that's where the wisdom comes from here. I understand that very, very well. So we aren't doing onesie, twosies around. So we only are selling areas. So when I tell you that we didn't even think we were going to start promoting franchising until 2023, and then the Franchise Times did a really cool article on me. It just came out, and it came out the weekend of the IFA. So it exploded. So all of a sudden, our inbox for franchising, we had the link up, but we weren't using the link. We weren't promoting the link. It exploded. But I will tell you, it exploded with 80% of the people that it called in, and we're hitting the inbox, we're not qualified. And we just said, no, we're saying no to all of those. Or, hey, we'll keep you in this little folder here. And if maybe there's a time we could partner with people, or you could do add-on stores to a market that has 20 or 30 in it, great. But right now we're really just looking for multi-unit developers. And obviously we had a lot of cream on the top of that as well. So we scraped that first. And that is what we're doing. And that was from experience. And that's because we want to make sure that we are able to build securely, safely, and functionally. And that has to be well capitalized. And you've got to have someone that understands what we're doing and what we are and who we are. We just don't want to sell a franchise because you think it's cool that testosterone therapy is hot right now. That's not what this is about. This is about anti-aging. We are creating a higher quantity and quality of life. We are improving the quality and quantity of lifespan.
Awesome. Well, look forward to being a member. Look forward to seeing the growth here and bringing area developer opportunities to you. Just last question here. If I'm a health club operator, I'm a studio operator, and there is a 3,000 square foot location either adjacent to where I am or inside of my club or in the same shopping center, how serious should I think about jumping into this and basically trying to just leverage the members I already have?
If it's a market of ours that's under development or that's in consideration for development currently, and that could be a great add into the market, then you definitely want to give us a call or certainly hit us on our franchising link on our website, because it's something we are highly interested in. It's a great scaling opportunity. And quite frankly, it's a lot of our clients are health club members. They are, because they care about themselves and they don't know where to turn anymore. And in turn, they're going to leave your club. They're going to quit your gym. I'm telling you, because I just know that from my own experience. They just try everything else but you.
Yeah, and then when you get injured, they think it's because of you or them, and they need that. They need the help.
They need the assistance. They need their bodies to function the way it's supposed to function. Gotcha. We're designed to.
Awesome. Well, good to see you again in person. Look forward to the growth of Serotonin. We'll have all the information up on the show notes. And, welcome to keeping the Halo sector kind of front and center and innovative and moving forward with technology and great use of square footage and delivering real results. So kudos to you, brother.
Thanks, Pete.